Good morning. Today we will discuss about if else if and if else if, that is a ladder. So how we can do with the if else if calculation, that we will discuss over here today. Generally what happens, we write the condition like, for example, if, and then we write the condition. If the condition is true, then your true portion will be executed. So you can say this is your true part, right? This is your true part. Else you can say no need to provide the condition in else case. Here you can say this is your false part. This is a simple if else condition. But what if I have the multiple conditions? For example, suppose if I have the multiple conditions like, for example, sometimes what happen, I want to give I want to give the discount to the user if and only if his purchase is greater than 1 lakh, right? If his purchase is between that is 80,000 to 1 lakh, then I want to give the different discount. If the purchase is between 50 to 80,000, then I want to give the different discount. And if his purchase is less than 10,000, then I want to give the different discount. It means my condition and my value is different for each case. So at that particular time, you can write if else if ladder. So you can write if else if ladder. How we can write the if else if ladder? For example, if first condition is true, but in if else if ladder you must need to understand that if first condition is true, then this portion will be executed, right? But if first portion is not true, so it is like a priority. Else if you can provide the one more condition over here, right? It is like a, for example, your admission. Whenever you are taking admission and you are giving the priority to any college, that if I choose the first college this, then if I get the admission into this, then I will select this. If I will not get the admission into this, then my second priority is this, right? So it is like a priority. If first is true, then the rest condition will be discarded. If the first condition is false, then it will look into another condition, that will be else if condition. Then you can provide one more condition over here, else if condition. If this one is true, then this portion will be executed. But remember, this is in a sequence. It means if first condition is true, then this portion will be executed. If this is not true, then this will be checked. If this is true, then this portion will be executed. If this is not true, then this will be checked. If this portion is true, then this portion will be executed. It is like a sequence. But remember, only one condition will be run at a time. Else you can say that if any of the above condition is not true, then your fourth portion will be run. So else is the point, will be run always if and only if the first above all the if else if is wrong. It means if this condition is wrong, then it will look for the another condition. If this is wrong, then it look for the another condition. If this is wrong, then it will go into else and it will execute all the portion. In which situation this type of condition is required? So let me give you some real-time example. Suppose if I want to check the given year is leap year or not, how we can do this? Very simple, student. See, I want to check the given year is leap year or not. So which year is a leap year? How we can identify it is a leap year? So for example, if your year is 2000, then it is a leap year. How we can say that it is a leap year? Because the first condition is modulo by 400. So any year which is modulo by 400, it is a leap year. How we can say that it is modulo by 400? Suppose if you write here 2000 modulo by 400, so you will get the remainder is 0. So you can say any year which is modulo by 400 is a leap year. But one more condition is very interesting, and that is what? Suppose if I say, somebody says that, sir, can I say modulo 4 is a leap year? Yes, you can say modulo 4 is a leap year, but you must need to understand that 1900 is the year which is modulo by 4. For example, if I write here modulo by 4, then I will do here what? 4 4s it will be 16, 30, 4 7s it will be 28, 20, 4 5s it will be 20. I am getting the 0 reminder. 1900 is modulo by 4 is true even if 1900 is not a leap year. Then what is the condition? The condition is if year is modulo by 4, then check. It must not be modulo by 100. So here you can check, is 1900 is modulo by 100? Yes. So 1900 is modulo by 100, and that is the reason why I am getting here 0. It means it must not be modulo by 100. If it is modulo by 100 and modulo by 4, then it is not a leap year if it is not a modulo by 400. Right? So I don't want to confuse you guys. It is very simple condition that suppose if my year is 1932, I just need to check, is it modulo by 400? No, it is not modulo by 400. I just need to check, is it modulo by 100? No, it is not modulo by 100. Then I need to check, is it modulo by 4? If it is not modulo by 100 and if it is modulo by 4, then it is a leap year. So 1932 modulo by 4, you will get here, that will be 3 4 8s are 32, 1 2 4 3s are 12. You will get the 0. It means 1932 is divisible by 4, and that is the reason why even 1932 is not divisible by 400 and 1932 is not divisible by 100. So you can say it is a leap year. Now I want to check this. How we can check using the if else if? Very simple, students. First check, if your year is modulo by 400 equal 0, then you can say it is a leap year. That's it. For example, 2000 is a leap year, 2400 is a leap year, 1600 is a leap year, 1200 is a leap year. So if your year modulo by 400 equal to 0, then it is a leap year. Now you can write one more condition in a else if. Else if means what? If it is not modulo by 400. If it is not modulo by 400, it means my year is, for example, 1700. Right? So if it is not modulo by 400, then check. Is it modulo by 400? No. If it is not modulo by 400, then check. It must not be modulo by 100. If year modulo 400 equal to 0, for example 2000, 400 0, it is a leap year. Now if it is not modulo 400, but it is modulo 100, then it must not be a leap year. So I need to write here condition, if year modulo 100 equal to 0, it means it is not modulo 4, but it is modulo 100. It not modulo 400, but it is modulo 100. So you can say it is not a leap year. Now here you can check another condition, that suppose if my year is not 1700, my year is, for example, 1932, as I given you example like this. Is it the modulo by 400? No. Is it the year modulo 100 equal to 0? No. Then check. Year modulo 4 equal 0? Yes, year modulo 4 equal 0. Then you can say it is a leap year. And dear students, in else you can write it is not a leap year. Now you can test your program with the any input. For example, I am passing here 1600. Is 1600 is modulo by 400? Yes. If the first condition meets true, then it will not check other one. 16 modulo 400 equal to true, then it is a leap year. That's it. Now let me pass one more input. For example, 1800. Is 1800 modulo 400 equal to 0? No. Then it will check here. 1800 modulo 100 equal to 0? Yes. Then it is not a leap year. Discard it. And it will not look for another condition. Now let me provide one more input. For example, 1996. Is 1996 is modulo by 400? No. Is 1996 modulo 100? No. Is 1996 modulo 4 equal to 0? Yes. Then it's a leap year. Now provide another year, for example, 1997. Is 1997 modulo 400 equal to 0? No. So your condition will be false. It will check into another. Is 1997 modulo 100 equal to 0? No. It will go into another condition. Is 1997 modulo 4 equal to 0? No. It will go into another condition. Is 1997 not modulo 400, modulo 100 equal to 0 is wrong. Modulo 4 equal to 0 is wrong. Then it will go into else and it will says the message that it is not a leap year. So very simple type of program you can develop in a C language or any other language to check for it is a leap year or not. I want to do it practically. Let me show you the same. I want to take the input from the user, that is integer year. So I will take the input from the user, enter any year to check for the it is leap year or not. So I'm just scanning the same percentage D ampersand year. Now you can check if year modulo 400 equal 0. If it is year modulo 400 equal to 0, simply print that a percentage D is a leap year. But if it is not modulo 400, then you can go for another condition, that is else if year modulo 100 equal 0. If year modulo 100 equal to 0, it means it is not modulo by 400 but modulo by 100, then definitely it is not a leap year. It is percentage D is not a leap year. Here you can print your year variable. Here you can print your year variable. Now you can check for another condition. And the condition is what? If year modulo 4 equal 0. It means if the year modulo 4 equal 0, then you can say that percentage D is a leap year. And if still not modulo by 400, modulo by 4, and even year modulo 100 equal to 0 is also wrong, then in this particular situation, you can simply declare that percentage D is not a leap year. But whenever you are talking about the leap year, you need to test each and everything. So I must need to test each and every input. So what I need to test over here? Not only the year modulo, that is a 400, not modulo 100, not modulo 4. I need to test each and everything. So suppose I am passing here 2000. 2000 is a leap year. It is correct. Let me pass here 1900. 1900 is not a leap year. Yes, it is correct. Let me pass here 1996 is a leap year. And let me pass here, that is 1997 is not a leap year. So I tested every year. First, what I did, if year modulo 400 0, then it's a leap year. If year modulo 100 equal to 0, it means if it is not 400 0. If it is not modulo 400 0, then it will go into this. So if not modulo by 400 but modulo by 100, then definitely it is not a leap year. And if year modulo 4, if it is not modulo 400, not modulo 100, but it is modulo 4, then also it is a leap year. But sometimes what happens, the people ask you that do the same program without if-else if ladder. Without if-else if ladder, can I do this? Yes, I can do this. How? Again, you just need to calculate the same thing. What I am doing over here, I am just checking if year modulo 400 equal 0, then it is definitely a leap year. Or in which situation we will declare the leap year? In situation where year modulo 100 not equal to 0. Why? Because if it is a year modulo 100 equal to 0, then it will be a leap. It will not be a leap year, right? So I'm writing here 100 modulo not equal to 0 and year modulo 4 equals 0. It means my year is divisible by 4, but it is not divisible by 100. Then also it is a leap year, and you can do the same thing in a one condition, that percentage D is a leap year in this particular situation, and else you can simply declare percentage D is not a leap year. Now you can compare both the condition over here. See, in which situation it is not a leap year? The situation where year modulo 100 equal to 0, then it is not a leap year. So if year modulo 100 not equal to 0, then it is a leap year. If year modulo 100 equals 0, then it will definitely not leap year. So same I did over here. One more thing I did what? If this both condition are true, then also it is a leap year, or if it is modulo by 400, then also it is a leap year. You can put this particular code into comment, and you can check that you can develop this program using two different ways, using if else if ladder and using providing the logical operator over here. Suppose I am passing 2000, again it is a leap year. Suppose I am passing 1500. 1500 is not modulo by 400c, but 1500 is modulo by 100, so it will be not a leap year. And suppose if I pass 1532, then it is a leap year. Suppose if I am passing 1533, then it will not be a leap year. So this is the way you can test. But I don't want to do only these things. I want to take the input from the user, that enter the year and month, and I want to display the number of days. So how we can do this? Insert the year and month, and I want to give the days. So first of all, you can work this particular thing on paper. How we can do the paper on paper? First, identify is it leap year or not, right? One more thing that you need to test what? You simply need to check. For example, if month, that is if it is a January, if it is a March, if it is a May, if it is a January, that is March, April, if it is a, that is for example July, then again August, if it is a, that is October and December. For this 7 months, the days are 31. Am I right? Yes. Days are 31. If it is a January, March, May, July, August, October and December, then days are 31. If it is a February, then we need to check for is it leap year or not. If it is a leap year, then the days are 29, and for non-leap year, the days are 28. Suppose if it is a April, June, then September, and if it is a November, then the days are 30. So students, you first need to understand that in this situation, how we can resolve this particular thing. Very simple. You need to check if the month is equal to January, March, May, July, August, October or December, then days will be 31. If the user input is February, then I need to look into the year. If year is leap year and month is February, then the days is 29. If year is not non-leap year and month is February, then days is 28. And for all this, the days are 30. How we can do practically in C language. So first, you need to definitely take the year from the user, as well as you need to take a month from the user. So I'm just taking here, enter any month. So I'm declaring a one variable over here that will be year and month. Now I will take the input year and month. Let me cut this particular thing right now. I will use at the time whenever it is required. If month equal, that will be, that is for example, user is entering month is 1, or month equal 3, it means 1 means January, 3 means March, or month equal, suppose if it is a May, or month equal 7 July, or month equal, that will be 8, or month equal, suppose if it is a 10, or month equal, that is 12. Then you can say days is equal to 31. So let me declare one variable over here, that is days is equal to, right now I'm just declaring days is equal to 0. So if month is this, then you can say days is equal to 31. Now here you can check if else if. So else if will do what? If not, if any of this condition is not true, then just to simply check, is the month equal, that is 4, it means April. If month equal, that is June. If month equal, that is September. If month equal, that is, for example, November, then you can say the days is equal to 30. Now, this is the very interesting concept. If month equal to, right? If month equal to, then what I need to do? If month equal to, then I will check for this, and that will be for leap year. If month equal to, and if it is a leap year, then I will assign days is equal to 29. And if else if month equal to, but this condition is not true, then you can say days is equal to 28. This is all about all the months. What if user is entering the month which is out of range? Then you can simply print the message to the user that bogus month. So input is bogus /n, and you can write here that is please try again. So here you can simply print your message, printf. Now I want to print what you want to print. I want to print that days in percentage d, year of percentage d month of percentage d year is equal to percentage d. So here you can print month, that will be your first percentage d. So days in month February, year for example 2020, and days is equal to this. So you can simply respectively print each and every variable. Now you can simply call build and run. Whenever you build and run, it will ask you for the year. Now I'm starting from the year 2020, and I'm entering the month, that is 2. It means 2020 February. Then the days in the second month of 2020 year is equal to 29. Yes, the days is 29 because 2020 is a leap year. Now let me try again. Suppose if I am passing, the year is 2019 and the month is 2, then the days is 28. Yes, it is correct. Now let me try again. Suppose if I am passing the 2020 and the month is December, then the days are 31. And you can check for the another month, for example 2020, the month is September, that is 9, then the days are 30. So this is very simple if condition, you can say, which contains the if else if as well as the nested if. What happened over here? Let me explain the each and everything again. One more thing, students, if your if having only one statement, then no need to write the curly braces, right? So I'm writing here, if this first condition is true, it means either of any. If month is 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 8, 10 or 12, if any of this month is there, then the days will be always 31 irrespective of the year. But if the month is true, it means if this condition is not true, then this condition will be taken and evaluated. So if month is equal to 4, days equal to 6, 9, 11, then you can say days is equal to 30. Now here, suppose if both these conditions are false, then your third condition will be evaluated. If now month equal to 2, then it will check, is it leap year? Now what is the logic for the leap year? Simple. If the year modulo 400 equal to 0 or year modulo 4 equal to 0 and modulo 100 not equal 0, then you can say it is a leap year. So my days will be 29. This else is of this if and this else is of this if. If all the if are wrong, it means if all the conditions are false, then your last else will be executed. For example, year is 2020, but I am entering the month 15th, right? So it will says me that it is a bogus month. Please try again. But at last, I am getting the message that is days in 15th month of 2020 year is equal to 0. So this should not be displayed. This should not be displayed if days is equal 0. So you can write the condition, if days not equal to 0, then and then print this. Now you can run again. Suppose if you pass 2020 and suppose if you pass the month that is for example 15, then it will say bogus month, please try again. But if you pass here the month which is the days, for example 2020, and the days for the month 2, then days in the second month of the 2020 year is equal to 29. So this message will be displayed if and only if the days not equal to 0. If days equal to 0, then I don't want to print anything. So this is the way you can use the if else if condition over here. Now I want to give you one more example of if condition, and that is in a range condition. Let me do practical first over here, that what I want to do. I want to take a marks of 5 subjects. That is, you can say subject 1, subject 2, subject 3, subject 4 and subject 5. I want that in all these subjects, student must score at least 40%. It means if all the subject having minimum 40 marks, then and then student will be eligible for the pass if the average of all this is more than 50%. So the condition is what? Let me mention again. Each and every subject must have at least 40%, as well as the average total. So each and every must have at least 40%, and average of all this should be greater than or equal to 50, right? So then and then the person is you can say that pass, otherwise I want to say that he is failed. Let me give you one example. Sometimes what happen, person score 90 marks in each subject, but here in this subject 5 he is scoring only 35. So his average may be more than 80%, but he is not passed yet. Why? Because all the subject must have at least 40% required. So how we can do this? Simple. Let me save this program, demo 10. And this you can do using the if condition. Let me show you how we can do this. Integer subject 1, subject 2, subject 3, subject 4 and subject 5. Definitely I need to get the marks of 5 subject. So I'm just asking to the user, enter marks of 5 subjects. So I will get the marks of 5 subject at the same time, and then I'm just simply scanning the data, percentage D, percentage D, percentage D 5 times. So ampersand S1, ampersand S2, ampersand S3, ampersand S4 and ampersand S5. So I'm getting the 5 subjects mark. Now what I need to check, if S1 greater than or equal to 40 and S2 greater than or equal to 40 and S3 greater than or equal to 40 and S4 greater than or equal to 40 and S5 greater than or equal to 40. Then you can say he is eligible, but the percentage must be greater than or equal to 50. Then how we can calculate the percentage? So here you can create the one variable that is total equal to 0. You can create one variable that is float, percentage is equal to 0. Now what we can write over here? Simple. First simply calculate the total of the subjects. So you can write here total is equal to S1 plus S2 plus S3 plus S4 plus S5. So total will be calculated. Now you can declare the percentage is equal to total divided by 5.0. So you will get the percentage. Once you get the percentage, let me cut this. I just simply want to print the total marks is equal to percentage D and percentage equal to percentage 0.2f. So I want to print the 2 digit after the point. So marks, that is total, and the percentage, that is PER. You can simply run your program. Now what happens, see, suppose if I am passing the marks that is in subject 190, subject 290, subject 390, subject 490, but in subject 5 I have 35 marks. Then my total marks is 395, percentage is 79, but still I am fail. Why? Because I have to score 40% in each subject. One more time I want to test. Suppose if I am writing here, that is 40, 40, 42, 44, 40 and 42. It means now I am passing in each subject, but my percentage is less than 50, then also I am fail. So my condition is what? Simple. I must get 40% in each subject and 50% aggregate. It means the total should be total percentage, aggregate percentage should be greater than or equal to 50. So if it is true, it means if I am getting the more than 40% in each subject, if this is true, then you can check for here one more condition, that percentage should be greater than or equal to 50 and percentage is equal to greater than or equal to 50, then you can simply print the message that you are qualified. Else I want to print the message you are not qualified. Why? Because the concept is you need to get at least 40% in each subject. For example, 40, 42, 44, 44, 46. Then I will get the message you are not qualified. Why? Even if I am getting the 40% in each subject, I am not qualified. Why? Because my aggregate percentage is not 50%. Right? But suppose if your aggregate is greater than 50, then suppose like this 92, 93, 93, 99, but 39, not 39, yes 39, 39. Now my aggregate percentage is greater than 80, but still I am not qualified because of this particular subject. And that is, I have to score at least 40% in each subject. So, in which situation I will be qualified? If I am getting at least 40% in each subject and at least my average is greater than or equal to 50, then I am qualified. See here, I am getting only 40 marks in the second subject, but still my total marks is 284 and the percentage is 56. Then you can say you are qualified. So this is the way you can develop the program to identify the things. But if I am qualified, then I want to give the grade. If I am qualified, then I want to give the grade. And grade on which basis? For example, let me mention over here that if the person is qualified, then just to check if his marks is between 70 total marks, total percentage, if his total percentage is between 70 and 100, then award him distinction. If his percentage is between 60 to 69, then award him first class. If his percentage between 50 to 59, then second class. And definitely our criteria for less than 50 means fail, right? So you are not qualified. So I want this three, that is distinction, first class and second class, or even you can say excellent, very good and good, right? So I want the three different categories if the person is qualified. Then how we can do this? Simple. You can declare here character grade array. Now here you can define 30 size. That is a grade. Which grade you want to allocate, right? So if the person is qualified, then check over here that if percentage greater than or equal to 70, then you can simply mention the grade is equal to, that will be excellent or first class distinction that you want to give. The grade is equal to first distinction. But students, you all know, if the grade is not greater than the 70, then you can use the if-else-if ladder over here. If first condition is wrong, then check the another one, else if percentage greater than or equal to 60. This is a distinction. So I'm just simply writing distinction. If percentage greater than or equal to 60, simply focus over here. If percentage is not greater than 70, but greater than 60, it means it is between 60 to 69. If percentage is not greater than 70, then and then you will come over here. If not greater than 70 but greater than 60, then your grade will be first class. And suppose if, now no need to write even else if, because if percentage is greater than 50 but not greater than 60, then you will be in the second class only. So directly you can write grade is equal to second class. See the if condition very well. See, if percentage is greater than 50, then and then you will be inside this. If percentage is not greater than 50 but not greater than 70, not greater than 60, it means you are between the 50 and 59. And if it is yes, then you got the second class. After this, simply print the message that your grade is equal to percentage S and print your grade variable. Your grade variable may be varied based on your value. So grade is equal to distinction. So what to do in this case? Whenever you want to assign a string directly to any variable, you need to use the strcpy function. In string copy, you can assign first character array, that is your string, and then you can write strcpy grade distinction. Same you can do over here, that is a string copy, that is a grade and first class. If it is a Java, then you can do directly, because directly it is dealing with the string. So strcpy grade and second class, and then you can display this. Now you can run your program. It will work definitely. Now you can check. Suppose if I am entering the marks, that is 45, 55, 69, 70, but my marks is 34 in the fifth subject. I am not qualified and my grade is black. So my grade should not be displayed if I am not qualified, right? So in which situation you want to display this? If and only if I am qualified. So whenever you display this, you are qualified. At the same time, you can display the grade. Now you can run your program again. Suppose my marks is 60, 70, 80, 90, and I'm getting 50 in the last subject. Then my percentage is 70 and grade is distinction, right? If you test it again, suppose 40, 50, 60, for example, 30, then it will not display my grade and simply I will get the message that is you are not qualified. So very simple. In C language, whenever you want to assign a string directly to character array, you can use the function strcpy to initialize the string to the variable. If it is a Java, then you can do it directly. But in C, you need to use the strcpy to do this, right?